Alrighty, folks, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be discussing the absolute majesty that is the President Trump State of the Union address, but even more specifically, I wanted to address the horrid response by the Democrats, whether it be the hundreds in attendance that were saying they weren't even going to show up, to the ones that got kicked out, to the ones that cried about it afterwards, and even the Democratic response to President Trump's speech, which has got to be one of the weakest sauce things I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not joking. It was so flat, you'd call it a soda that's been sitting there for 10 years. Okay, so anyway, let me begin with this gentleman called Al Green, a guy who can't even open his eyes all the way. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. But this guy would nonstop stand up when the president was trying to speak. They were all yelling at him while he was trying to speak as well. It was very uncomfortable. It was petty as hell. And this 80-year-old black dude is over here waving his cane as if he's like owed something. And he was kicked out. The sergeant of arms, thank you to Mike Johnson, he did something. He said, "We need a point of order." And we got those sergeant at arms to kick his ass out. Amazing. Now, apparently Nicole Wallace, who is on MSDNC, was bad-mouthing the 13-year-old little black kid that had survived cancer, getting some sort of pleasantry by the president. Let's see.
This was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel, and I let myself feel joy about DJ, and I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as
They're
as a law
uncomfortable as hell.
enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump supporters. And if he does,
What?
I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide.
Are you kidding me? What a cheap way to use that kid's existence is, oh, you want to be a cop, which means, being a cop literally anywhere, you absolute dolt, wine-drunk loser. I'm assuming she's wine-drunk. Could be a plethora, a different series of cocktails of pills that she could be on. She just talks that way. But anyway, Nicole Wallace, the guy's dad, okay, the little kid's dad, had a Texas shirt on. Implication being what exactly, okay? I mean, you don't have to be a law school student to know that the implication is that they live in Texas. Why the hell would he be guarding the Capitol at any point? Why bring that up if you knew that? She probably didn't. She's an idiot. Okay, moving on to my next point. Even if so, why the hell would he volunteer to guard the Capitol out of anything else that you could do, even in D.C.? Plenty of other security jobs, police jobs. Get real. Oh, I hope you're not one of the 6 cops that that took their own lives. And I got to tell you, what the hell does that say about January 6th if the only ones that died, police officers that is, after thousands of boomers were raiding the Capitol and taking pictures on Nancy Pelosi's chair? How come those 6 people that passed away were not due to the hands of the violent guys at January 6th? No, it was to their own mental state. And I got to tell you, why the hell would you off yourself after that? Like, but whatever. Not to go on a tangent that's about as distasteful as hers, but Nicole Wallace needs to eat some soap, okay? Come on.
And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
Do you think that 13-year-old gives a scintilla of a crap about... Oh my God. That kid was, what, like 9 years old when Jan 6 happened anyway? And you're going to use that as a political ploy? What a conniving little fucking... Oh, what a dork. Okay, now we have the black female Mr. Clean over here talking about how she left the Trump State of the Union address, which is multifold, okay? On one hand, first of all, why are you announcing it like you're special? Nobody cares. The only thing that makes you special in Congress is that you're probably the only chick that's completely bald. Secondly, don't fact check me, I don't know. Secondly, I got to tell you, stop being a prima donna and don't record you leaving. And also, nobody noticed that you left. Actually, I could tell that blind 80-year-old black guy, Al Green, I could tell when he left because he actually made an effort to wag the cane around. Like, even though that's a dick move, of course, that is still kind of funny. You left and nobody noticed.
All right, y'all, I don't have a lot of time. I just came off the House floor.
You quite literally have a lot of time. You just left an event.
I could not stand one more second, tolerate one more second. This man who pardoned January 6th insurrectionists who desecrated the very chamber.
Then why are you still in the chamber if it's so desecrated, brother? That's like saying you desecrated my house. Okay, so then what are you going to do about it? I'll whine about it 4 years after the fact. Go take a hike off a cliff, okay? Who cares?
In this moment. This man who has no respect for Congress, does not respect us as a coalition.
He doesn't respect Congress, but he's speaking to them.
Branch of government who has put us in
that branch of government is owned by Republicans, you dumbass.
to a constitutional crisis. This man with his hateful
What crisis?
even more harmful policies.
What's the hateful rhetoric that I'm going to tax Canada? What? Who cares?
Because I wanted to honor my State of the Union or my joint address of Congress guest, Claire from Everett, a probationary federal worker who was damn good at her job at housing and urban development, enforcing fair housing laws.
How the hell can you be good at that job?
She was fired.
Oh, that's tough. Oh no, my heart bleeds for you. No, Everett, or whatever her name is.
Remains unfinished. There are people that will be unhoused because that work is
unhoused. You mean homeless?
There's housing that will not get built.
Well, but will they end up bald like you?
Because that work is unfinished and her life is getting completely upended and disrupted. And because Claire is also a manual wheelchair user and navigated a lot of ableist spaces to come here today.
Ableist space? You mean things that were built for people that can walk, just like what 90-something% of people can do? The fuck are you talking about? That's like if I showed up in Egypt and I said, "Wow, this is very ableist for Egyptians that everything's in like Arabic." Like, yeah, obviously, I'm not expecting things to be in English. Oh god.
And take up space and honor her.
Okay, how come people with wheelchairs can complain about that stuff, or at least she on their behalf can say that, but people that are left-handed have to deal with like pretty much everything sucking for them, whether it be writing, whether it be a gaming controller, a golf club? Like, come on, are you kidding me?
But there is no way that I could stay there for this address. It is insult to injury, the lies and the propaganda.
She at the bathroom? She was probably at the bathroom, bro. Now, if you didn't know, Nancy Pelosi, I don't know why the hell she's still around, but anyway, apparently she got every female congresswoman, or a good bulk of them, to wear pink in solidarity for feminine rights or something, which is ironic because most Senate Democrats, and by most I mean literally all of them that showed up, I'm pretty sure, including John Fetterman, who sucks, by the way, he votes the same way he looks, which is putrid. Anyway, basically, she got them all to wear pink in solidarity, which is ironic because, again, Democrats voted, almost all of them voted against women's rights in sports, where apparently the Republican notion was, hey, let's not have men in women's sports, transgenders. They voted against that. So women's rights up somebody's ass because it doesn't exist according to Democrats. They don't care. But anyway, hypocrisy aside, as it's an abundant thing to point out at this point with the Democratic Party, they have these like slave auction sort of like little ping pong paddles, it seems like, and they have these little things, slogans really. It says protect veterans. Okay, very vapid. Okay, like as in like, okay, whatever. Everybody agrees. Save Medicaid. Who the hell is cutting Medicaid? 3, Musk steals. What? Where is the money? If he's stealing any considerable amount of money, could it not be pretty damn obvious? Hey, oh, look, he stole $100 million or $1 billion. Okay, anyway. Also, if you're Elon Musk and you're the richest guy in the planet, which by implication means you're the richest person that has ever existed in the history of the United States or even the planet, to be honest. Okay, he has a net worth of almost $500 billion somehow. Why would he steal? Like, they don't accuse Trump of stealing, but he has like a 1/200th of the Elon net worth. So why the hell is like Elon is literally the last person that would have to steal jack squat out of anybody. Okay, I know he has a lot of baby mamas, but still, he's still got a lot of money left over. Anyway, they have a card in the corner that says false, which is like, okay, so they're gonna try to fact check my president for what reason? He doesn't lie. This is a pretty good summary of how the Democrats feel right now. This is a senator from Delaware, good pal of Joe Biden, called Senator Chris Coons. And then you have Mark Kelly, who's my senator, a short guy, hateable, sucks. Anyway, fake moderate. So Swig, who I've met before, says, I've never seen Democrats look this defeated. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, I mean, this is not even a funeral sort of expression. This is just like a complete feltoning, wholly encompassing, and you love it. But let's get into the Alyssa Slotkin Democratic rebuttal. Now, this is a very short rebuttal. It's only about 10 or so minutes long. Alyssa Slotkin, who is a new senator out of Michigan, who won in a state where Trump won. She beat Mike Rogers, who's a very generic white dude. She is a 8-year-old woman, thick as hell neck. Don't know why I had to mention it, but I did. And she's a former spook, as in a CIA employee or agent. And so, let's see.
Wanted to make a life in national security. I was recruited by the CIA and did 3 tours in Iraq alongside the military. In between, I worked at the White House under President.
Okay, look at the implication. I went to Afghanistan, let's say 3 times, all alongside the military. That's not the same thing as being in the military. I'm only pointing that out in case people say, oh, credit to her, she fought. It's like, no, she fucking, no. I think she might have fought through an Ozempic prescription because she needs one. Definitely, she's fighting it off. She needs
President Bush and President Obama, 2 very different leaders who both believed that America is exceptional. You can find that same sense of patriotism here in Wyandotte, Michigan, where I'm speaking from tonight.
Where?
It's a working class town just south of Detroit. President Trump and I both won here in November. It might not seem like it, but plenty of places like this still exist across the United States.
If you voted for Slotkin and Trump, screw you. Come on, man.
Places where people believe that if you work hard and play by the rules, you should do well and your kids should do better. It reminds me of how I grew up.
Her neck is so strange, guys.
Just look at it. My dad was a lifelong Republican, by mom a lifelong Democrat. But it was never a big deal because we had shared values that were bigger than any one party. We just went through another fraught election season. Americans made it clear that prices are too high and that the government needs to be more responsive to their needs. America wants change, but there's a responsible way.
You're a moderate Democrat by your own standard, bitch. Like, what are you talking about change? You're like the most generic person possible.
To make change in a reckless way. And we can make that change without forgetting who we are as a
We can't do change in a reckless way. You come off like a mom. And like not even like the hot, like, you know, some of your friends have like a hot mom. She is like the chubby one. She's like the fifth rung in like a friend group of women that drink wine during their kids' sports games. I mean, this is like it's a loser that I'm looking at
country
right there.
And as a democracy. So that's what I'm going to lay out tonight. Because whether you're from Wyandotte or Wichita, most Americans share three core beliefs: that the middle class is the engine of our country, that strong national security protects us from harm, and that our democracy, no matter how messy, is unparalleled and worth fighting for. Let's start with the economy.
Weak sauce.
Michigan literally invented the middle class.
Shut the fuck up. No, what? I'm from Michigan, by the way. No, stop. All this like, oh, we need our auto industry back. Oh my God, we need the scenes from 8 Mile where they're working in this depressing factory. Suffer. The economy doesn't work that way anymore. And oh, we invented the middle class. Get that head out your ass, bro. Couldn't you say the same thing about Ohio? Wisconsin? Are you kidding me?
Revolutionary idea that you could work at an auto plant and afford the car you were building. That's the American dream. And in order to expand and protect the middle class, we have to do a few basic things. We need to bring down the price of things we spend the most money on: groceries, housing, healthcare.
How?
We need to make more things in America with good-paying union jobs.
This is literally the Biden script. How did that work out?
Back home from places like China. We need to give American.
Oh, wait. Bring home stuff from China, but don't also tariff them like Trump is proposing. Thank you.
Businesses the certainty they need to invest and create.
That's like if Trump were on the treadmill and he's like, we need to lose weight. And then Alyssa Slotkin, who, I mean, you just look at her and she's like, Donald, you're losing weight recklessly. We have to lose weight, but also do not work out. It's dangerous. You might fall off the treadmill. That's like the same logic. Repatriate jobs. Okay, let's cut regulations. Oh my God, no. Let's cut down the deficit. No, not like that. Oh, let's put tariffs on China. No. What? What the fuck? Like, what's your angle here? The Democrats are screwed. What is their angle? We don't understand it yet. I'm going to be skipping around, man.
On his proposals doesn't work without going after your health care. Meanwhile, for those keeping score, the national debt is going up, not down. And if he's
okay, it's been literally, like 5 weeks, and they're complaining about the debt going up under Donald Trump. Now, you tell me how. And even if you're God, and by God, I mean, like, if you had dictatorial control over the economy, there is no way in hell you can cut the $2 trillion deficit in the span of, like, 5 weeks. But here we are. And the debt, yeah, it's going up, but at a slower rate than it otherwise was. And you're telling me, and you're going to kvetch about how Donald Trump is having the debt go up under his watch. What the hell do you want him to do? And then you're saying, oh, Doge is going to cut from Medicaid. Okay, well, then how the hell else are we going to balance the debt? Like, what are we? Oh, my God. You can't even argue with these people. It's in bad faith. But I'd say bad faith is even too charitable of a term. I'd say they're just fucking atheists and they're arguing. Like, they're just saying, spaghetti monster, oh, there's no way that the Trump ideas will work. And the alternative is what? There is no alternative.
He's not careful. He could walk us right into a recession. And one more thing. In order to pay for his plan.
One more thing? We're not even halfway done.
He could very well come after your retirement. The Social Security.
Why? They always say that, dude. Democrats. Sorry. Okay, I'm yelling. They always say that. Democrats always scare people. They said that about Bush. They said it about any given Republican, Mitt Romney. They're going to cut Social Security. How many fucking times, how many elections have you guys been around for? I'm only 21, so I've only been around for a couple. But I'll tell you, every freaking election, they said they're going to take your stuff. It's like, dude, first of all, shut up. Second of all, when is it going to be true? If Trump were to touch Social Security in a way that is unpopular, he's going to lose in the midterms. He's not going to do that, okay? Trust me. And mind you, I don't even care about Social Security. In fact, I have to pay self-employment tax, 12.4% on Social Security, assuming I'll retire in like 50 years from now. And then what? Like, I'm not even going to get that money. So you know what? Actually, fuck Social Security for what I care. Like, come on, dude. I won't even use it.
Security, Medicare, and VA benefits you worked your whole life to earn. The president claims he won't. But Elon Musk just called Social Security the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Where's the lie? I'm paying money that I don't have as a college student in taxes for a fucking program that I promise you will not be around barring some miracle in the year 2070 when I'm due to retire, okay? If you're over, or rather, if you're under the age of 50, count your benefits as pretty much gone, and the tens of thousands of dollars you paid in taxes for Social Security through the FICA tax or whatever you call it, call that gone, lost money. That ghost is like some 80-year-old right now in Michigan, okay? Not you, person under 50. And I know a lot of old people watch me, by the way, and you guys get to enjoy the benefits you paid taxes for. I don't mind that. I'm just saying that people like me pay for your benefits, and I'm not going to see it, I'm pretty sure. The bankruptcy incoming for Social Security is more imminent than ever, whether that be in like 10 years, 15 years. Come on, man.
While we're on the subject of Elon Musk, is there anyone in America who is comfortable with him and his gang of 20-year-olds using their own computer servers to poke through your tax returns,
yes,
your health information, and your bank accounts?
Yes.
No oversight, no protections against...
What the hell are they going to do? What 20-year-old gives a fuck about it anyway? What? Okay, so the idea is that a 20-year-old named Big Balls, right? Okay, these Doge people, some college kid is going to go through some like auntie's like 60-year-old IRS tax return. And what are they going to do with it? Who cares? If they see it, what's the big deal?
Cyber attack. No guardrails on what they do with your private data.
Yeah, this is just appealing to the narcissism of like the plebeian. Nobody gives a fuck what I'm doing with my money. Oh, this guy spent $200 on gas in the past 2 months. Like, what?
Need a more efficient government. You want to cut waste? I'll help you do it. But change doesn't need to be chaotic or
cut your caloric intake.
Make us less safe. The mindless firing of people who work to protect our nuclear weapons, keep our planes from crashing, and conduct the research that finds the cure for cancer, only to rehire them.
Ironic, given that your liberal counterpart, Nicole Wallace, no relation to you, obviously, but the same sort of thinking leads to her also making an awful, disgusting comment about the kid that has cancer.
2 days later, no CEO in America could do that without being summarily fired. Okay, so we've talked about economic security. How about national security? Let's start with the border. As someone who spent my whole career protecting our homeland, every country deserves to know
yeah, the CIA is really protecting America, you're right.
Who and what is coming across its border, period. Democrats and Republicans should all be for that. But securing the border without actually fixing our broken immigration system is dealing with the symptom and not the disease.
Okay, so you're saying protect the border, but also give amnesty. Okay, yeah, thank you.
A nation of immigrants. We need
Shut up, okay? Shut up with that notion. It's so annoying. It's a nation of immigrants. It's a nation of colonizers, as in people that were exploring uncharted land for a lot of the exploration of America, clearly, right? Most of the Indian settlements were not really amassing the entirety of the landmass of the 13 colonies, plus westward expansion. And so, yeah, we're a nation of colonists that were mainly European Protestants with a certain ideology and a general Overton window that was permitting of only so many things, okay? That population then did allow for other Europeans, but that was kind of the premise, okay? The founding fathers, which everybody appeals to in politics nowadays, would not be cool with me being in America. That being said, and I see the contradiction there, like, oh, you're anti-immigration, but you're Mexican. I get it. But also, there's only so many people you can take in. I mean, it's kind of like a zombie apocalypse. You can't let too many people in your shelter or you're all going to starve to death. And frankly, we are all in debt. And by that, as a country is what I mean. And so for this notion of a nation of immigrants, it's just a facetious thing. What do I mean? Okay. If, let's say, you start a new team in the NFL, you're going to need certain immigrants, and by that I mean players from other teams, to make your own new team, the 33rd team. And will you take in some free agents? Yes, but they got to be good players. You don't just take anybody that wants in. You don't take asylum seekers, okay? You don't want the Texans, for example, to take Kadarius Toney. You don't want them to take a Byron Pringle because they suck.
Functional system, key to the needs of our economy, that allows vetted people to come and work here legally. So I look forward to the president's plan on that. Because here's the thing.
Why do you look like that?
Today's world
she kind of looks like Kelly Clarkson, but like much worse. Like, do you guys see it?
Deeply interconnected. Migration, cyber
Kelly
threats,
Clarkson,
AI,
if she never
environmental
went
destruction,
famous.
terrorism. One nation cannot face these issues alone. We need friends in all corners, and our safety depends on it. President Trump loves to say peace through strength. That's actually a line he stole from Ronald Reagan.
Oh, you can't use a line that a guy used similarly 40 years ago? Wouldn't he, by that definition, also have stolen Make America Great Again from like 1984?
But let me tell you, after the spectacle that just took place in the Oval Office last week, Reagan must be rolling in his grave.
Just don't invoke Reagan rolling in his grave, you fucking... Ugh. I struggle to not swear. ...into
the war in Ukraine. But Reagan understood that true strength required America to combine our military and economic might with moral clarity. And that scene in the Oval Office...
He did Iran-Contra. What are you talking about?
...wasn't just a bad episode of reality TV. It summed up Trump's whole approach to the world. He believes in cozying up to dictators like Vladimir Putin and kicking our friends like the Canadians in the teeth.
Suffolk, Canada? Yeah, fuck them.
Leadership as merely a series of real estate transactions. As a Cold War kid, I'm thankful it was Reagan.
Yeah, you're old. Get the hell off my screen, bitch. Get your neck checked out, bud.
Trump in office in the 1980s. Trump would have lost us the Cold War. Donald Trump's actions suggest that in his heart, he doesn't believe we're an exceptional nation. He clearly doesn't think we should lead the world.
That is the dumbest takeaway you could take from Donald Trump's personality, that he just hates America.
Look, America is not perfect, but I stand with the majority of Americans who believe we are still exceptional.
Then why'd you lose the election?
Unparalleled. And I would rather have American leadership over Chinese or Russian leadership any day of the week. Because for generations, America has offered something better. Our security and our prosperity, yes, but our democracy, our very system of government, has been the aspiration of the world.
Who cares?
And right now,
Bro, if people cared about democracy so much in America, then the person that was around for Jan 6 would certainly not be Kamala Harris. The fact is that people don't really care about the democracy in as much as the success of the country is still going on. For instance, why is China still not revolting against Xi Jinping? Because China, at least for the past couple decades, has been growing at a rate that's pretty impressive, and so their standard of living is such that they don't really care if they don't have much of a voting process. Okay, same thing with America. If Donald Trump does an amazing job, do you really freaking care if he runs for a third term at that point? Like, it's just kind of obvious that the whole democracy thing is just it's a circle jerk, and it's like this elitist stupid thing. Okay, if you had a benevolent dictator, very few people would have a problem with it if things were actually played out correctly. Okay.
Now it's at risk. It's at risk when the president decides you can pick and choose what rules you want to follow, when he ignores court orders and the Constitution itself, or when elected leaders stand by and just let it happen. But it's also at risk when the president pits Americans against each other, when he demonizes those who are different and tells certain people they shouldn't be included.
Who?
Because America is not just a patch of land between two oceans. We are more than that. Generations have fought and died to secure the fundamental rights that define us. Those rights and the fight for them.
Okay, so generations have died for Americans, but then also let's let in a ton of immigrants that haven't contributed in that same way ancestrally.
Make us who we are.
Okay.
We're a nation of strivers, risk takers, innovators, and
risk takers, but not the risk of Donald Trump. Okay, come on.
We are never satisfied. That is America's superpower. And look, I've lived and worked in many countries. I've seen democracies flip.
Oh, you're a great patriot.
Out. I've seen what life is like when a government is rigged. You can't open a business.
Oh yeah, you were around for 2020. What a self-own, you dumb.
Without paying off a corrupt official. You can't criticize the guys in charge.
Who paid off a corrupt official?
Without getting a knock at the door in the middle of the night. So as much as we need to make our government more responsive to our lives today, don't for one moment fool yourself that democracy isn't precious and worth saving. But how do we actually do that? I know a lot of you have been asking that question.
Nobody has asked that question. That's ironic. Okay, here's the final 30 seconds or so. Let's see how she lands the plane.
I'm a student of history, and we've gone through periods of political instability before. And ultimately, we've chosen to keep changing this country for the better.
What?
But every single time, we've only gotten through those moments because of two things: engaged citizens and principled leaders. Engaged citizens who do a little bit more than they're used to doing. This is the most boring lecture possible. Care about, and principled leaders who are ready to receive the ball and do something about it. So thank you tonight for caring about your country. Just by watching, you qualify as engaged citizens.
Yeah, because you're fucking boring. Yeah, you're right. Okay, that's the first thing I agree with tonight. Okay, thank you, sweetheart.
And I promise that I and my fellow Democrats will do everything in our power to be the principled leaders that you deserve.
By what? Like castigating Donald Trump, throwing your cane at Donald Trump almost damn near, just like waving your stiff stick over like Al Green did, or what? Holding little ping pong boards, little paddles, saying that Elon Musk is a thief for whatever reason, or wearing pink, or yelling over the president speaking, or voting against banning transgender men from women's sports, or not going up and standing up for Lincoln Riley's family, or Corey who got murdered at the Trump rally.
Good night, everyone.
This is so awkward. Oh, she has to stand there before, because in the news or whatever, they got to say okay, cameras off. They snap the director's thing. Okay, now she's just standing there she's dysgenic. Tough. All right, so as I wrap up the video, obvious Trump W, great speech by my president, and I'm so happy he's back. And honestly, the Democrats are more down bad than you would have ever imagined. Their defense is one that doesn't even exist. They don't really have any points against Trump. It's just largely them lying about a lot of stuff, fear-mongering about how bad the tariffs may be, but then also moralizing about illegal aliens. They are also, again, like I said, lying about Elon Musk stealing stuff, lying about Republicans taking away your Social Security, which I will never see, by the way, so I could care less. and Medicaid being robbed by Republicans, stuff like this. Honestly, none of it stuck. The response and rebuttal is the worst one I've ever seen in my entire life. And so I'll leave you guys with that. Like the video if you liked it. Comment down below if you want anything that I want to read. Comment down below. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Adios. All right.